The next day, nothing. And then that leads to, I think it was that for that Friday. That Friday, I head to the bus stop. And I'm thinking, okay, everything's all right. And he was there. And I was like, oh my God, you have got to be kidding me. All right, at this point, I was pissed off. And I basically was like, you know, he was like, well, why didn't you? He was questioning me. And I'm like, I said, I don't owe you anything. I said, just because a woman, and by this time there were like people around, some people were looking. And I'm like, just because a woman, or you see a woman and you like the way she looks or something, she does not owe you anything. She does not owe you a fucking thing. And he was like, are you married? I'm like, it's none of your business. And I said, this is crazy, because I was like, look, I'm going to put my headphones in. I said, I'm not interested in any friends. I'm not interested in getting to know you. I said, I don't owe you anything. I said, you know what? You might be a nice guy. And isn't it sad that I still have to kind of like, even when a woman says no, we still have to kind of like, because of safety, sometimes it's like you still gotta like try to talk to them in such a nice way so that, you know, they don't react, because, and this is still happening, and women are still getting killed for saying no to a man or refusing. You know, it's like, it's really, really frustrating. It's really frustrating. Yeah, I basically told him off, got on the bus, and since that day, I have not seen him around at all. Like, I don't want anyone to be scared by this story, because I mean, I kind of find it funny. At the time, it was annoying and had me a little bit shook, but I mean, in general, Korea is safe. Now, I mean, when it comes to domestic abuse issues and stuff like that, I feel like Korea is still very lax on their domestic abuse laws, because that shit still does happen. And to be honest, if you are a woman looking to come to Korea, and I mean, in general, the tips that I'm going to discuss in just a minute are just across the board things you need to carry with you no matter what country you go to. When it comes to Korea, you still have to be careful. It's safe. Like, I feel I walk home at night by myself and I don't fear for myself. I've walked past men in the street here. Nothing's ever happened. But what I would say, I think when it comes to Korea, you have to take care of yourself, of course. You need to watch out for yourself. If you and your girls are going out, stick together, because I think you're more likely to counter issues with other foreigners than you are when it comes to the actual Korean. There is plenty of stories of things happening with foreigners within the foreigner community, as far as like sexual harassment stuff. And this is a side rant, ding ding ding. This is kind of the other reason why I don't like those club story times that are very popular here amongst the black, well, I mean, it's the black YouTube community and just the YouTube community, YouTubers in Korea. There's you'll find a lot of videos of just club story times, and I get it, it's entertainment, it's funny, and I've watched a few, but I don't even really watch them anymore, because once you watch 2 or 3 club story times, it's pretty much the same shit, because especially with certain like clubs, I know like the hip-hop clubs, there's the NB2 or whatever. Never been to them, because I'm not really a club person. My ass is kind of, I've been there, done that when I was in college, so I'm kind of like, I prefer more like chill vibes, more like lounges, wine bar, you know, grown folk shit. Grown and sexy, trying to keep it grown and sexy. I know that in the clubs with the foreigners, it's really well known, or it's a known thing that sometimes a lot of women, you'll go to these clubs, they're crowded, they're packed, and I've heard plenty of stories of girls getting their tits getting grabbed in the crotch, grabbing them by the pussy, so to speak. And it's like, I've heard that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's #1 reason enough for me not to ever take my ass into any of these clubs. And half the time, a lot of them, they be discriminating at the door anyway, so I'm like, y'all can have that club-ish. Just take precautions just like you would anywhere else, because I don't like to let people know I live alone. So as a woman, I would think that would be the number one thing. I don't volunteer that information, especially if I'm just meeting you. If someone's asking where do you work, if they're asking you what you do for a living, that's one thing. But if they're asking you, oh, where do you work, I don't like to get anything that can put me to a location where they know I'm going to be. I do not give out that information. You should never do that. Like I said, just for safety issues, you gotta watch out. Sometimes I will tell, like, people will be like, are you traveling alone? And even then, especially, like I said, you know, you got to read the energy, because not everybody is out to get you. Not every guy that you meet will be out to get you, but you just can't. There's no, I don't think there's such a thing as being too cautious. Yeah, you just when anything like that, location, don't give location out, for real. I've even said things before, especially if it's a situation where a person, I don't like their vibe at all, and be like, oh yeah, I'm traveling here with my brother, or saying shit, because, and it's a shame you even got to do that, because it's, you know, men, they'll respect another man's property more than they will respect your own autonomy and you having your own agency over yourself. Isn't that some shit? So pretty much, just to wrap this up, I would say some tips for watching out. Like I said before, do not give out your location to people that you don't know, like that, strangers. It's good. I know some people travel with like whistle thing. I've never really walked or carried anything like that, but after this last incident, I think I am going to invest in getting some type of like self-defense. You know, that could be a whistle. I know my girl, she had, what did she have? She had like a thing, looked like a little key ring, but then you open it up and it was like this like plastic thing, like triangle, and that thing actually looked pretty vicious. It wasn't like, what do they call those things, brass knuckles? It was like a plastic thing where basically if somebody's trying to get at you and you bam, like you could really fuck somebody up with that. But she had one of those. My girl, my girl Shannon, hey Shannon, she actually suggested buying like a little mini travel size can of hairspray, or it can work similar to mace. But I mean, hey, if something happens, anything to just like, just in the situation, you know, where if it gives you enough time to be out, like it's, you know, whatever. So things like that, if you feel comfortable carrying those things, I would recommend that. Number 3, letting people know where you are, especially even though I live in Korea. I talk to my mom. Me and her are very close, and I talk to my mom all the time. So even if I'm traveling, like a few weekends ago, I went to Jeonju. You guys probably saw the vlog. Before that, I went to Daejeon for the weekend. My mom knows all that. She knows where I am. If I tell her I'm going away, I'm about to be going to Jeju in the next couple of weeks, she already knows that. So letting somebody know where you're going to be, if you're going to be traveling, just let somebody know. That's kind of like common sense, but it's definitely worth it in communicating. And number 4, especially if you are going out with friends, and you're like say for here in Korea, look out for your friends. Look out for your friends. I think that's like the most important thing, especially some of y'all young girls that are over here going to do the club nights and stuff like that. And like I said, not even in Korea, it could be anywhere abroad. Hell, in America, it's kind of like the number one thing. You gotta watch out for that. So and talk about that shit before y'all go out, because I know people be getting turned, and somebody might want to go slink off with somebody else or whatever, and just kind of like, you know, that may be the case, but y'all need to talk about that beforehand. Definitely look up any, like, especially when you're in another country, look up any emergency hotlines for foreigners. A lot of countries have them. Korea has one that I'll put down in the description. And if you know, it doesn't hurt to just keep that number someplace close. And like I said, I'm not saying all these things because it's more than likely that you, especially coming to Korea, it's more than likely that you might never even encounter any of this stuff or have to deal with this stuff. But you know, just got to protect yourself while traveling, because that's also how you enjoy travel. It's less of a stress if you know what to do in case of emergency or something serious. So I hope that anyone watching this found this video informative, and like I said, any links to hotlines or other information I'll put down in the description box. Thank you for tuning in to the very brand new Nomad Peeps TV. You know, hit me up on my Instagram. You can always see what's going on there, because I stay on Instagram usually. Check out nomadpeeps.com. Right now, if you go over there, you can sign up and start receiving the new newsletter that I'm going to be putting out weekly. It's a personal newsletter written by me every week, full of some funny stories, some tips, and especially for anyone that is trying to make travel their full-time lifestyle, living a nomadic life, you know, feeling like you're on holiday 24/7. If you're interested in any of that, please go to nomadpeeps.com, sign up for the newsletter. I'm trying to build a community here of people who are just trying to, you know, trying to grind, trying to make things happen, make these moves to live the life that they want. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe as always, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys soon.